peeling off, crumbling into dust. Standing right in the middle of this broken room was a 23-year-old young woman, Raha. She had no savings in her pocket, nor did she have the backing of a wealthy family. The society and the people around her mocked her, saying, "A woman trying to run a business all by herself? She will lock up the shop and run back home in a couple of days." But Raha had a different kind of stubbornness in her eyes. She blocked out the noise and ignored everyone. Tying her scarf tightly around her waist, she grabbed a broom and got to work. She scrubbed the floor until it shined, managed to find a dusty old table, and set up a small oven in a corner of the room. This was the humble beginning of her venture, Level 1. Around noon on the first day, her very first customer walked into the shop. Raha stepped forward with a warm smile and took the order. Then she rushed to the kitchen, prepared the food in her small oven, and served it to the customer's table herself. As soon as the customer finished eating, she cleared the plates, wiped the table, and walked over to the cash counter to touch her first hard-earned money. That night, Raha's legs were numb with pain. There was no bed or couch in the shop. She simply spread a bedsheet on the hard floor and lay down. Looking up at the ceiling, she whispered to herself, "Today I am all alone, but one day, this entire city will run on the name of my brand." Chapter 2. The Golden Rule of Business. Reinvestment. 3 to 6 minutes. A few weeks passed. The taste of Raha's food and her welcoming behavior slowly became the talk of the neighborhood. The shop was now attracting 10 to 12 customers every single day. At this crucial juncture, Raha made a defining decision. Average people usually spend their initial profits on fancy clothes, gadgets, or personal luxuries. But Raha was a born entrepreneur. She did not spend a single penny of her early profits on herself. Instead, she poured every bit of that money right back into the business, reinvestment. She added 2 brand new glossy tables to the shop and replaced her tiny oven with a much larger one so she could prepare multiple meals at the same time. However, as the business expanded, the real trouble began. Where there used to be 4 or 5 customers, there were now 15 to 20 people standing in line simultaneously. Raha was just one person. Should she handle the cash counter, cook the food in the kitchen, or clean the tables? One afternoon, a customer, furious over the delay in getting his food, slammed his hand on the table and shouted, "I've been standing here for an hour. If you can't manage it alone, why did you open a shop in the first place?" Tears welled up in Raha's eyes, but she refused to break down. She realized a harsh truth. You can never grow big by working entirely alone. If you want to become a true owner, you must build a team. Chapter 3. The first staff and the magic of management, 6 to 9 minutes. The very next morning, Raha hung up a bold sign outside her shop. Staff needed. After interviewing a few candidates, she hired a hard-working young man to take over the kitchen duties. Suddenly, her workload was split in half. Raha stood gracefully at the cash counter, managing the customers and processing payments swiftly, while the new employee continuously supplied fresh food from the back. The business instantly felt like it was moving at double the speed. Raha didn't just hire an employee, she made sure he worked with maximum efficiency. She started giving him performance-based bonuses, which significantly upgraded his working speed and his capacity to carry multiple orders at once. The entire atmosphere of the shop transformed. Customers no longer walked away angry. Instead, everyone was deeply impressed by Raha's management. Money began piling up in the cash box day after day. Raha was no longer just a regular worker running around. She had stepped into the role of a leader and a boss. Chapter 4. The Level 3 Storm and the Drive-Thru Boom. 9 to 12 minutes. Months flew by. Raha was now ready to take the biggest risk of her life, the one that would pave her way from a simple shop owner to a millionaire. Taking all her savings and securing a loan from the bank, she purchased the vacant plot of land right next to her shop. She completely renovated the entire place, turning it into a grand restaurant that looked no less than a 5-star establishment. And right here, she unlocked the ultimate weapon of her business, the drive-thru system. This was Level 3. Now, people weren't just walking into the restaurant to eat. Long lines of luxury cars began queuing up along the driveway. Customers placed orders right from their car windows, and Raha's staff dashed out to deliver the hot food straight to their hands. But with this massive upgrade came a massive crisis. The introduction of the drive-thru caused the workload to skyrocket tenfold overnight. The newly hired staff simply couldn't handle the intense pressure. Some grew lazy, standing idly in the corners of the kitchen out of exhaustion, while cars outside honked impatiently. The hard-earned reputation of her business was on the verge of crumbling into pieces. Raha was not